The town I'm in right now is completely baby crazy. There's just babies everywhere, so I'm gonna talk about some baby-based business models. And babies are super as a not necessarily a customer segment or even a user, but well, yeah, let's say as a user, because there's a lot that you can get to them, right? You can give them car seats or toys to play with while they're in the car, so they don't get bored. Similarly, stuff for their home, like toys, safety gear. Safety is a big one. Um, Toys, let's just broaden that to be entertainment while they're at home. You've got all the educational stuff, like Baby Einstein obviously made a ton of money, even though it wasn't even educational, by sort of combining the promise of education with entertainment. You've got their health, their well-being, and this stuff all works really well because you've got an extremely paranoid customer segment with a lot of disposable income, which is mom. And then you've also got dad. Let's say there's two different kinds of dads. There's somewhat busy dad, and there's extremely busy dad. So extremely busy dad is sort of an 80 or 100 hours of work a week, and somewhat busy dad is a more regular 40. But either way, they're spending a lot of time out of the house. Mom is probably spending too much time inside the house. I know I'm really generalizing here, but we get to choose who we want to sell to, and I am choosing to sell to the most stereotypical family possible. Um, but I mean, you might, when you were doing your research or thinking about a business like this, you might find out there's actually the working single mom or the professional mom or the house dad who's the best customer segment. So remember, wherever you are, this is just a starting point until you learn more, and you're always going to update the thing. Um, then you got the doctors in here somewhere, the pediatrician, I guess they're called, and they could be a channel. The doctor could be part of kind of your customer relationship. That every time baby goes in for a checkup, the doctor's saying, "Hey, you have that thing. You need that thing." Um, Kind of doctor recommendations could be one of your key resources. Right now, all I'm doing is just thinking about some different ways that this could be structured and how we could kind of push and pull the demand around. Um, Another great thing about babies is they keep growing. So growth. If we're selling something that's time limited or that ages with the baby, like I mentioned Baby Einstein earlier, and that was sort of these educational, supposedly educational videos that you could put on the TV, and they were meant to help more than watching Sesame Street. Although in fact they didn't, but they were great because as your baby grew up, there were sort of the Baby Einstein videos for 6 months old and 1 year old and 18 months old, and so every 6 months someone would come back and buy the next set of extremely targeted videos for their specific baby age. And if you're doing something that ties into the way they're educated, like if they're, or the way they're entertained, like, or even something like car seats, right? Anything, basically anything baby related, they're going to outgrow completely within a year. So you get a huge amount of resale value if you kind of become the trusted brand where you're supplying this thing they're willing to pay a lot for because they don't want to skimp on safety. But at the same time, it has a really low kind of, I guess, durability before it gets replaced. Um, yeah, so those are pieces. I guess the way I would probably start. I mean, you could imagine, given that people are kind of outgrowing stuff constantly, you could imagine an aftermarket for baby supplies where um, you've got kind of different moms as your customers, and you're creating a marketplace between them where mom two has a slightly older baby and gives the slightly outgrown equipment to the younger mom, who then passes it down, and it keeps going down a value chain indefinitely, and you take a slice of the sale price or the trade price or the shipping and fulfillment or whatever you do at each step. So that would work well. Or you could, for example, say that you want to address the same problem but through a product design perspective rather than rather than a marketplace perspective. So you're going to go back to selling to a single person. You can see I can draw on the canvas now. Not that I want to, and I can't erase yet, so that's there forever. We'll find something to cover it up with. Um, covered up with mom. So you've got mom, and what you're going to sell, your value proposition to mom is you're going to sell um, baby products that grow or resize, so they're kind of size adjustable. So that means if they were buying entertainment videos, you'd keep providing new content so that they always have the right content given their baby's growth. If you were providing a tram or a car seat, it would stretch and pull and twist and all of that. And while this might be a really desirable product, you can imagine that it's weaker at first glance because your revenue stream, which used to be, let's say, yearly purchase, as the baby grows up, so let's say they're spending $500 a year on whatever junk you're supplying. Now we've just completely decimated our lifetime value per customer because we're saying it's a one-time fee. And so even if we're able to charge twice as much, you know, if we can charge someone $1,000 instead of $500 for a stroller, we're still making a lot less because we could have kept this other customer, you know, buying 4 different strollers potentially over the growth of their child. But on the other hand, maybe this is a better product that's delivering more value to mom, and maybe we can find other things that we could do. So I could imagine that you're selling strollers, and with that, kind of when someone's making the purchase, you say, "Hey, do you want like a diaper subscription?" So you take these things that are meant to be consumables, diapers, bottles, milk, food, and you say, when you buy this big ticket item, we're going to give you 6 months of diapers delivered straight to your house. So you have an in-store purchase of these big ticket items, and then you have something like mail delivery of consumables each week or each month. And if they're happy with the service after 3 months or 6 months, which they will be, then it's $100 per month for consumables. And I mean, this would be a brutal market to get into. I don't really recommend it, but diapers.com is a monster, and Amazon is really ferocious in this space. But you know, it's a possibility, right? You take something that used to be a relatively poor value for consumers, you go really high end with it, you make it last a lot longer, and then you find a way to throw in add-ons. I kind of like, yeah, I mean, this video is already dragging on, so I'll cut it off, but in general, I think babies are great, and more people should be thinking about them, not just making them, but making products for them, because all of these people are willing to spend an awful lot of money to make sure that they're healthy and happy, and kind of thanks to what babies do, which is grow and complain, and they're going to do it an awful lot.